Hey guys, it's Tom here from Crypto Life Inc. and Team Generous. I'm back at you guys with another video. So today we're going to talk about EOS dividend tokens. What are they, and are they a good way to generate you some passive income while you're sleeping? So tune in for that, guys. Now remember to like and subscribe for this video series. I'll be talking about staking in my next video. Catch you in there. Alright, so now the big question. So what are EOS dividends and why are they so popular? So here we've got an article explaining it. So tokens that pay you while you sleep. So what does that mean? Sounds pretty intriguing. Sounds like that, those promises of those guys saying passive income, right? So let's see how passive this thing is and is it going to pay off or not? So remember, again, it's not financial advice. I'm doing my own research. You guys should do the same. This one's written by a mate of mine, Kurt, which I've had the pleasure of meeting. He's a super nice guy. So EOS dividends, tokens, that pay you while you sleep. Okay, right. Just reading that out. So read that disclaimer, guys. Don't get fooled. Here it is. So here is just a snapshot of the site, and he describes the problem, right? So it's not clear which token, sites or games are paying out dividends. That's the first problem, and how much they're paying out. So we know that there's gambling dApps in the EOS ecosystem already, and what we know now is that some of these gambling dApps actually pay out dividends based on you holding that gambling dApp's tokens. So if it's the dice game that you're playing, if you hold the dice token, then you shall get some dividends because you're holding a stake into their company. And we can talk about staking in another video, which I'll share with you guys later. But that's the basic concept. So when you gamble on these dApps, you get issued specific tokens, and these tokens can be staked for dividends. So you can receive dividends off your gambling pretty much. So it allows you to become part of the house, right? And the house always wins. Everyone knows that about EOS gambling. Well, not even EOS gambling, just gambling in general. Everyone knows that the house is going to win. And that what these systems and these dividend tokens allow users to do is become part of the house. So what is the solution here? Let's see, we're solving all the problems. So EOS dividends is showing you a window into which tokens give out dividends. So that's the first part, which is good because, as I said, we went through the whole gambling list system. First of all, you got to go click into the website that you want to see, are they a gambling game or not? And if so, how do the rules work? And then you got to figure out, are they going to give you dividends or not? So EOS dividends is doing that for you guys. So it takes out the guesswork there. They're providing a safe place for people to chat about these tokens. They do have a Telegram group, so do check out their group. I'll link that in the description as well. So there'll be no dumb questions, blah, blah, blah. We're API to all exchanges, which is pretty exciting. And then this is the staking, which I will mention in another video. So basically the issue is people aren't sure, which gambling games actually give out dividends, and then if so, how much are the dividends, right? Because that's quite important. If I'm going to go and play a gambling game and I'm going to try and be the house or get part of the house profits, then I'd like to get the one with the best, right? If I'm going to play dice in 10 different places, I'd prefer to play it with the one that's going to pay me the most, regardless of whether I win or lose through my dividend tokens. So that's the reason that EOS dividends exists. And I'll show you guys real quick, why this is such a huge trend. Actually, a good video to check out is one of my mates, Dallas Rushing. He's done a pretty good video on the next big trend in crypto. So EOS dividends, he's been talking about that as well. But let's go back into their site. And what I'll do is I'll take a look at some of these. Let's just take a look at 3. I don't want to go spend 3 hours on this. Let's take a look at 3, and then I'll show you guys where to find the dividend information. So quite obviously, when you jump onto the site, when you're checking if it's a gambling dApp or not, this one seems very gambling-like. You've got dice, baccarat, sick bow, blackjack, roulette. Now these are obviously gambling games, so if you've ever been to a casino, you'd recognize them. If you're not aware that this is a casino, you probably shouldn't even be on the site because there's just no point for you, really. So let's just get into it. Let's all decide that this is a gambling dApp. That's the first thing. So you can see, if you want to go in, you can have a look at So this is their dice game that you can play. What I'm going to do is look at their dividend system. So here it is. It's you got to be careful with these things, and this is what the guys at EOS Dividends are really working towards, is just making it easy for people to understand where all the dividend systems are and how they work. So here it's called bonuses, and you'll realize later on it'll be called something else on another site. And I had to reshoot this video because I thought this was a 24-hour countdown. So I stuffed up there, and then I looked at it. So I basically clicked on this thing, and it says 50% of all profits will accumulate in the payout pool, distributed once per hour. So I was just reading it all wrong. I thought, like, there's like barely any money to be made every 24 hours, but turns out this is just an hourly countdown. So you're going to multiply that by 24 if you're trying to work off the metrics of this, which is another reason why when I do a separate video running through the metrics, it's so important to see what is the dividend percentage payout and then what is the total 24-hour EOS that is accumulated in the prize pool. So now the way dividend tokens works is quite simple. Basically, you just see it as every time you get some of their tokens. So in this case, the DICE token is what pays out the dividend token. You are buying a stake within the casino itself or the gambling DApp or whatever it is, if you think about it that way, and the house always wins. So that's part of their marketing strategy. So if you're the house and say some nitwit over there gambles $1 million and you own 10% of the house, then you will get 10% of whatever percentage of that winnings. If that guy loses $1 million, will go to the house. So here I think 50% of all profits. So say like someone gambles $1 million and the profits is 250K for some other reason, right? Now I'm just making numbers up here. So you're going to get 50% allocated into this payout pool. So that is 125,000. And if you had 10% stake, then you would have, oh my God, quick maths, 125,000, you'd have $12,500. You make that in terms of money, right? But this is all in EOS, and these are just fake numbers I've made up. But you get the point. That's how it's calculated, and it's different depending on each of these gambling dApps. That's why it's so important what the EOS dividend guys are doing to make it easy for you guys. Because can you imagine doing the maths on dice, poker, and maths? I mean, I'm probably going to have a brief look at it. I might even get some of them wrong just because I'm rushing it a bit. But now you get the point. So if you have a look, this is the 1 hour pool. So it's going to refresh, and then you're going to get paid out. And it's based on how much you stake. So you have to buy the tokens. The thing I missed out is you have to stake the tokens after. So I'll cover that in a separate video where I actually go through all the staking so you can see how to stake tokens on different dApps. So here, if you have 10,000 DICE tokens, you're going to get roughly 0.001.5 EOS an hour, right? So that's going to accumulate, so if you have like 10,000 tokens, you might get 0.1 EOS by the end of the day. Obviously, the way to make bank or make passive income off this is just to have like 1 million of these tokens. You just buy a lot of these DICE tokens. It's not financial advice, guys, but you buy a lot of these DICE tokens, and then obviously this number is going to increase by tenfold, because if you buy 1 million of these tokens, it's going to increase by 1,000-fold. And then your end estimate payout is going to increase. And then just to remember that you also make these tokens as well. So these are all in the pool. So there's 5,000 DICE tokens. There's some EBTC, ETH, nothing there. USD Peg EOS, and all these other tokens. So you have the option, the opportunity to also get these tokens, not the option, because they just give it to you anyway. And then when you go there, it'll come out here depending. This is your balance, so it'll just show you what you've been receiving. And then if you want to check, this is also the payout logs for this particular gambling dApp. So let's just jump quickly to Poker EOS. And I'll have a look at the same thing. So here it's called payout. So the other one's called bonus. So again, I mean, a little bit of inconsistencies between the dApps, which is why it's important to have a site like EOS Dividends where it's just all together. I find it makes it way easier for me to see, which one am I gonna, try and stake and try and get dividends off. So here you can see the percentage changes again. So these are all metrics that would be great to see on a site. So 60% of the prize pool. So if it's all consolidated, it makes it so much easier for me to make a decision. But okay, so this one's doing 60%. I'm not even going to read the rest. payout from the 1st to the 7th. Monthly payout pool. Okay, this is a monthly payout pool, but then here's an hourly one. So that's the monthly payout pool. It doesn't show you how that's worked out, which is annoying. Here is the hourly payout pool. It does give you an estimate of that, so at least you can get the estimate of this. I'm not actually sure right now how you would get an estimate of that. So if you had 10,000 PKE, you get 0.013 EOS every hour. So that's how this works. And then you got the payout logs, and then you got your balance as well. So I don't hold any of these tokens yet. And then if we go to EOS Max, same thing. So this one, finally, it's called dividends. We've got a dividend, guys. We've got a dividend right here. So here I read this one wrong ages ago, and I thought you could get this much a day, but then it turns out that's also the monthly one or something like that. What is this? Payout credited to your balance. Tell me how long it takes. I have no idea how long this takes because they haven't told me. Yeah, I don't know. That could be a monthly one. It could be a daily one. We'll see. And then there's this one, which seems to be the hourly one. Right, so this is the hourly payout, so you get 0.006. And that's the payout that you get for staking 10,000 max tokens. So that's pretty much as simple as that, guys. In my next video, we'll talk about staking, but hopefully this has shown you guys exactly what the dividend tokens are and how they're used in each particular gambling dApp and why there's all these differences in them. So that's why it's important to keep track of these dividend tokens because, obviously you're holding on to them. You're trying to mine them for the highest profit that you can without actually doing anything, or you're trying to hold on to them for the highest amount of passive income as you can from the payouts that you get from these tokens. So that's my summary there, guys. Leave comments in the description. Let me know if that made sense or if you have any questions, and I will get back to all of you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So hopefully now you understand what an EOS dividend token is. My next video is going to be on how to stake these tokens, and then how does that process work for a whole bunch of these gambling dApps. So tune in for that, guys. Now remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.